If you drink coffee and throw away the grounds every morning, this video is specifically for you. Not as background information, not as something interesting, as something you can start this week from what is already in your trash. Used coffee grounds are spent to the coffee maker. They are not spent to the oyster mushroom. The oyster mushroom sees a nearly complete growing substrate. The distance between what you are throwing away and a weekly supply of gourmet mushrooms is a mason jar and a packet of spawn. Before the full system, before the science, before the history, here is what you can do with this morning's grounds. Let the coffee grounds cool completely. At least 2 hours. Warm grounds are the single most common reason the first jar fails. The details on why come later. Cool them first. Scoop into a clean mason jar, 3/4 full. Mix in 1 tablespoon of oyster mushroom spawn. Cover the jar opening with 2 layers of paper towel secured with a rubber band. Store at 65 to 75 degrees out of direct sunlight. In 7 to 14 days, white mycelium threads appear throughout the grounds. When the jar is fully white, move it somewhere with indirect light. Mist the outside of the jar with water twice daily. In 5 to 7 days, oyster mushroom pins form at the surface. Harvest when caps are fully open but before the edges curl upward. 1 jar, first flush, 50 to 100 grams. Second flush, after a 7-day rest, 30 to 70 grams more. 13 cents of spawn, kitchen trash, gourmet mushrooms. That is the entire economics of this method. Before the full system, tell me in the comments, what do you currently do with your coffee grounds? Trash? Compost? Garden? Nothing? Drop it below and tell me your state, your climate affects which method works best for your situation. The jar sat beside the coffee maker for 2 weeks before anyone in the house realized it was growing food. Not hidden away in a grow tent. Not in a dedicated mushroom room. Just sitting there on the counter next to the mug, going white with mycelium. The stir-fry was 3 days away. The coffee grounds that feed the garden in this channel's kitchen fertilizer video. That is their second life. This video is their first. The oyster mushroom colonizes them, fruits from them, and leaves behind spent substrate that is richer in available nitrogen than the fresh grounds were. That spent substrate goes to the garden bed. 1 daily input, 2 outputs, 0 waste. The waste was never finished. The mycelium knew what to do with it first. Paul Stamets is a mycologist based on the Olympic Peninsula in Washington. His 2005 book Mycelium Running is the most comprehensive popular guide to mushroom cultivation in English. His 2008 TED Talk has been viewed over 7 million times. He is the subject of the 2019 documentary Fantastic Fungi. His argument relevant to this video: mycelium produces more protein per square foot than any plant grown in the same footprint. Chapter 8 of Mycelium Running specifically covers oyster mushroom cultivation on coffee grounds, cardboard, straw, and agricultural waste streams. This method is not experimental. It appears in the most cited mushroom cultivation book in print, and has for 20 years. Oyster mushrooms are saprophytes. They evolve to decompose dead organic matter, specifically fallen hardwood. Used coffee grounds are approximately 40% cellulose, the same material. The brewing process pasteurizes the grounds. Water at 195 to 205 degrees, passing through the grounds for 4 to 6 minutes, eliminates most competing organisms without sterilizing completely. It leaves behind a substrate that introduced oyster mycelium can colonize with minimal competition. The espresso machine already did the hard part. This is why coffee ground cultivation requires no pressure cooker, no flow hood, no sterile laboratory technique. The barrier that makes most home mushroom cultivation feel inaccessible, the need for sterilization equipment, simply does not apply to used coffee grounds. The coffee maker handled it this morning. 3 causes of contamination. Grounds not fully cooled before inoculation. Warm grounds accelerate mold growth before mycelium can establish. Inoculation in a dusty or high-traffic environment. Competing spores fall onto the substrate from the air. Too little spawn. Not enough mycelium to outcompete organisms that survive the brewing. 3 fixes. Cool the grounds completely before touching them. At least 2 hours. Longer in a warm kitchen. Wipe down the counter and close nearby windows before inoculating. Use 2 tablespoons of spawn per jar rather than 1. The first jar most people grow turns green. Mine did too. Green mold on coffee grounds looks alarming. It smells faintly like wet cardboard. It means the grounds were not fully cooled, or the environment was too open, or there was not enough spawn to outcompete what survived the brewing. It is not failure. It is the data that makes the second jar work. The trash was already the substrate. The problem was never the grounds. Honest question. Did you know that the brewing process pasteurizes the coffee grounds? Because that single fact makes this entire method possible. The espresso machine already did the hard part. Drop below, which surprised you more, the pasteurization or the comparison to beef protein? 3 methods. The first works on a kitchen counter with a mason jar. The second works in a bucket on a balcony or in a spare room. The third produces mushrooms for years from a system that runs itself after 1 afternoon of setup. Start anywhere. Scale when ready. Already delivered above. Here is the detail that makes it reliable through the fruiting phase. For the colonization phase, 2 layers of paper towel as the breathable cover. Once pins form, switch to polyfill aquarium filter fabric, the same material used in aquarium filtration, $3 for a lifetime supply. It allows gas exchange without becoming saturated during the humidity misting phase. During fruiting, place the jar inside a clear plastic bag. Mist the inside of the bag twice daily. Leave the bag loosely closed, not sealed. This creates the 80 to 95% relative humidity oyster mushrooms need to pin, without any additional equipment. By day 10, the jar looks like it has been frosted from the inside. The white mycelium threads have consumed the dark grounds entirely. The smell is earthy and faintly mushroom-like, the specific smell of active mycelium working through substrate. Not unpleasant. Specific, alive. After the first harvest, return the jar to the humidity bag. Second flush, 50 to 70% of the first. Some jars produce a third. After the mycelium stops producing pins, the spent substrate goes to the garden bed. The common mistake, harvesting too late. When cap edges curl upward and white dusting appears on nearby surfaces, the mushroom is releasing spores and is past peak flavor and nutrition. The harvest window is often only 12 to 24 hours. Check twice daily during the fruiting phase. 1 $8 bag of spawn inoculates 60 jars. 60 jars at $2 to $8 per jar in mushroom value. Between $120 and $480 in oyster mushrooms from an $8 investment and daily kitchen waste. A mason jar. This morning's coffee grounds. A tablespoon of spawn. In 14 days, gourmet mushrooms from what was in the trash. If this changes what you do with the coffee grounds tomorrow morning, and if you want to keep seeing this kind of gardening, the kind that actually reduces what you spend every year, subscribe to Roots and Garden. Free. Always will be. The method that scales the mason jar into a genuine household food production system. 1 5-gallon bucket with a lid. Drill 10 to 15 half-inch holes in the sides and lid. These become both the gas exchange points and the fruiting sites. The mushrooms grow from the holes. Layer the bucket, 2 inches of cooled coffee grounds, a sprinkle of spawn, 2 inches of grounds, a sprinkle of spawn, repeating until the bucket is full. Close the lid. Store warm, 65 to 75 degrees, in the dark for 14 to 20 to 1 days. Full colonization takes longer in larger volumes than in a mason jar. When the bucket is fully white with mycelium, move to indirect light. Mist the holes twice daily. Pin initiation begins within 5 to 10 days of the humidity trigger. Oyster mushrooms emerge from the holes in the sides of the bucket. The stagger system start a new bucket every 7 days while the previous one colonizes. After 4 weeks, 1 bucket is fruiting, 1 is mid-colonization, 1 is early colonization, 1 was just inoculated. Continuous weekly harvest from daily coffee output, 4 buckets, daily coffee, a rotation that runs itself. Stamets documents in Mycelium running that spent oyster mushroom substrate is more nitrogen-rich than the input material. The mycelium breaks down complex cellulose into simpler compounds that plants access more readily. The bucket after the final flush is a soil amendment, not waste. The common mistake, not drilling enough holes. Fewer than 10 holes in a 5-gallon bucket allow CO2 to accumulate, which inhibits pinning and produces long, thin, poorly developed mushrooms rather than the wide-capped, fleshy oysters this method is designed to produce. Drilled generously, more holes produce better mushrooms. 1 bucket. 2 to 3 pounds of grounds. Free. 50 cents in spawn. 3 flushes. 400 to 800 grams of oyster mushrooms. At farmers market prices of $12 to $20 per pound. Between $10 and $35 per bucket. 4 buckets in rotation. Potentially $40 to $140 in monthly mushrooms from daily coffee output. Step back from the method for a moment. A 5-gallon bucket. Coffee grounds from the past 2 weeks. 50 cents in spawn. Gourmet mushrooms that would have cost $40 at the farmer's market from material that was in the trash. No soil, no sun, no outdoor space, no garden, no prior experience. There is a moment, usually around day 14, when the bucket in the corner of the kitchen has gone fully white, when the commitment becomes real. The mycelium has consumed the substrate. The grounds that were in the trash are now a living organism running through the bucket. The pins will come next week. The stir-fry will come after that. The spent bucket will go to the garden bed. The system that looked like a strange experiment 3 weeks ago is producing protein from kitchen trash on a Tuesday afternoon. 3 methods. A mason jar on your counter. A 5-gallon bucket in your kitchen. A log in your yard. Subscribe to Roots and Garden, and if you are watching from an apartment with no outdoor space, the mason jar and bucket methods require nothing beyond a kitchen counter. This is the container growing system from last week's video, 1 layer deeper. The permanent system? 1 hardwood log inoculated with spawn produces mushrooms for 4 to 7 years. 1 afternoon of work. 7 years of harvests. 1 afternoon. 7 years of shiitake. The connection to the fruit tree video, apple wood from fruit tree prunings, is one of the best available logs for shiitake cultivation. The trees that provide fruit also provide mushroom substrate. 1 planting. Multiple production functions across the system's lifetime. Fresh-cut hardwood log, 4 to 8 inches diameter, 3 to 4 feet long, cut within the last 6 weeks. Drill 5/16-inch holes in a diamond pattern across the entire log, holes 6 inches apart, 1.5 inches deep. Tap plug spawn into each hole using a mallet. Seal each hole with melted beeswax. Store in a shaded location with partial shelter from rain for 6 to 12 months. To fruit, submerge the log in cold water for 12 to 24 hours. This temperature shock triggers pinning. Stand upright in a shaded, humid location. Mushrooms appear in 5 to 10 days. After harvest, rest the log for 6 to 8 weeks and repeat the cold water shock for the next flush. Logs produce 2 to 3 flushes per year. The common mistake, using softwood. Softwood resins inhibit mycelium growth. Use only hardwood, and specifically a hardwood without natural antifungal properties. Avoid cedar, black walnut, and black locust for this reason. Commercial shiitake grow kits cost $30 to $55 per kit. They produce 1 to 2 flushes before the substrate is exhausted. A fresh hardwood log inoculated with $8 of plug spawn produces for 5 to 7 years. Both options have been simultaneously available since home cultivation kits appeared in the American market in the 1980s. The mushroom kit industry sells what your kitchen already makes. The log outperforms it by a factor of 20. Log from yard trimmings or curbside. Free. Plug spawn, $5 to $8. Beeswax, $3. Total, $8 to $11. Annual yield from a productive shiitake log, 2 to 3 pounds. At $15 to $25 per pound. $30 to $75 per log per year. Over 5 productive years, between $150 and $375 from an $8 investment. Twist and pull rather than cut. Twisting removes the entire base of the mushroom cleanly, leaving no stub that could rot and introduce contamination before the next flush. Cutting leaves a stub that often molds between flushes. Fresh storage, paper bag, refrigerated 5 to 7 days. Never plastic. Plastic traps moisture and accelerates deterioration within 24 hours. drying for long-term storage, slice to uniform 5 millimeters, dry at 95 to 110 degrees, the same low oven method from the preservation video, until completely brittle, no flecks at all. Store in airtight glass jars. Properly dried oyster mushrooms hold for 12 to 18 months. The dried weight is approximately 10% of fresh weight. A freshly harvested oyster mushroom cluster is slightly cool to the touch and heavier than it looks. The gills are white and unbroken. The smell is mild and distinctly oceanic, the characteristic scent that concentrates into something more complex when the pan gets hot. First, the 3-practice contamination prevention protocol. Work quickly. Have spawn, jar, and filter ready before opening the coffee maker. Inoculate within 2 minutes of transfer. Every minute of air exposure increases contamination risk. Use more spawn, 2 tablespoons per jar, not 1. Stable temperature, a kitchen cabinet near a heat source, not a variable temperature room, produces faster and cleaner colonization. These 3 practices eliminate 90% of contamination failures without any sterile equipment. The remaining 10% require nothing more than a second attempt. Second, the vitamin D activation method. Fresh oyster mushrooms placed gill-side up in direct sunlight for 60 minutes before cooking increase their vitamin D2 content by 400 to 1,000%. Mushrooms contain ergosterol, a compound that ultraviolet light converts to vitamin D2, the same reaction that occurs in human skin. Commercial fresh mushrooms stored under artificial light contain essentially none. A homegrown oyster mushroom sun, activated for 1 hour before cooking, is one of the few non-animal vitamin D sources available. The waste was never finished. The mycelium knew what to do with it first, and the mushroom that grew from the waste is still finding new uses. The vitamin D conversion happening in 60 minutes of sunlight before the pan. Subscribe to Roots and Garden. The closed loop this video completes. From the kitchen fertilizer video's coffee grounds to mushroom production to the garden bed, is one circuit inside a larger system this channel has been building for 17 videos. The next step is preserving what you grow, so the season never actually ends. The coffee grounds went through the maker this morning. They went into the jar. The mycelium found them and began. 14 days later, the mushroom grew. The mushroom was harvested, cooked, eaten. The spent substrate went to the garden bed. The garden that received the grounds earlier in the year received them more nitrogen-rich than when they started. This is the system. Coffee maker, mason jar, harvest, garden, every stage feeding the next. The waste stream was always the supply chain. It just needed a jar and a tablespoon of spawn. The waste was never finished. The mycelium knew what to do with it first, and what the mycelium left behind, the garden knew what to do with after. What you grow from these grounds you can preserve, dry, store, and use through winter from a single season's production. The video on never stopping your harvest covers exactly that. It is the next step in the system. Subscribe to Roots and Garden. We uncover the forgotten crops, buried knowledge, and ancient systems that built the most productive gardens in human history. The gardener was not failing. The system was incomplete. The coffee maker was always the beginning of the food system. It just needed a jar. Which method are you starting with? The mason jar this week, the bucket next month, or the log in the yard? And if you have already tried growing mushrooms and had them fail, drop what happened below. The failure is almost always one of 3 things, and I want to help you fix it.